Ryan still remembered the first time he met Elena. It was a rainy Thursday, and she walked into the coffee shop like she owned the moment. She ordered black coffee, no sugar, no milk. Bold just like her. Their eyes met, a smile exchanged, and by the end of that week, they were inseparable. Their love felt real. Not dramatic, not forced. Just two people growing together. She laughed at his bad jokes, and he memorized her coffee order. They'd talk for hours about everything, from fears to dreams. For Ryan, it wasn't just a relationship. It was a future. He would picture her in a wedding dress, in their first home, holding their first child. He worked hard to make her happy. Long hours at the office, saving bit by bit for a surprise vacation she'd once casually mentioned. Elena loved the beach, so Ryan started planning a trip to Maui. Every day he checked flights and hotel deals, hoping to surprise her on their anniversary. Jake, his best friend since high school, was often around. The three of them hung out frequently. Ryan trusted him without question. Jake had been by his side during college breakups, job interviews, even his father's funeral. He never imagined Jake could be anything but loyal. Lately, though, something felt off. Elena started pulling away. No longer reaching for his hand during movies. No more good morning texts. When he asked, she'd say, "I'm just tired," or, "Work's been crazy." Ryan nodded, convincing himself it was temporary. Everyone had phases, right? Then came the phone. Elena had always been casual with her phone. She used to leave it around, ask Ryan to read her texts aloud while she cooked. Now she kept it close. On silent. Always face down. Password changed. Once, when she was in the shower, it buzzed. A message preview flashed briefly. "Miss you already." His chest tightened. He wanted to believe it was from a friend. Maybe Maya. But something in his gut twisted. He mentioned it to Maya during a casual grocery run. Maya frowned. "She's been weird lately. Doesn't talk about you like she used to." That hit harder than Ryan expected. Few days later, Ryan came home early. He walked in on Jake and Elena laughing in the kitchen. A kind of laugh that didn't match the moment. Too soft, too close. Jake had his hand briefly on her lower back. Elena looked startled when she saw Ryan. "Didn't know you'd be back this early," she said quickly. "Yeah, meeting got cancelled," Ryan replied, trying to sound neutral. He didn't confront them. He watched. He observed. He told himself they were just friends. They had always been close. But that night, Elena avoided his gaze when she slipped into bed. Jake didn't respond to his messages for 2 days. Ryan began noticing patterns. Jake now avoided visiting when Ryan was home. Elena's clothes smelled like a cologne Ryan didn't wear. She claimed it was a coworker's perfume. The hardest part was pretending nothing was wrong. Smiling through the ache. Waking up beside someone who felt increasingly like a stranger. One night, Elena fell asleep with her phone unlocked beside her. Ryan hesitated for a second, then picked it up. His hands trembled. Messages from Jake. Flirty. Suggestive. "Can't stop thinking about last night. You looked amazing today." Elena had replied with heart emojis. Ryan's breath caught. He put the phone down gently like it might explode. He sat in silence for an hour, trying to process it all. He didn't cry. Not yet. The pain hadn't reached the surface. In the morning, Elena acted normal, like nothing had changed. She kissed his cheek, made coffee. Ryan watched her, wondering how long she'd been lying. How long Jake had been lying. He thought about the vacation he'd been planning. The saved hotel links. The surprise he wanted to give her. Now everything felt meaningless. Ryan walked into the living room, stared at the photo on the shelf. Him, Elena, and Jake. Smiling. Perfect frame hiding the cracks beneath. He turned it face down. Love, he realized, wasn't always enough. Ryan stopped sleeping properly. Each night, the same thoughts circled his mind. Her laugh, Jake's hand on her back, the messages. His home, once warm, felt colder. Elena's presence no longer brought comfort. Every word she spoke now sounded rehearsed. She claimed she was meeting Maya one Friday night. Ryan waited, pretending to scroll his phone while she left. An hour later, Maya texted him a meme. He replied casually, asking if she was with Elena. Maya replied, "No. Haven't seen her since last week." "Why?" His fingers froze. He stared at the message, heart pounding. He didn't reply. There was nothing left to say. The next morning, Elena acted like everything was fine. She kissed his cheek, offered him coffee, and hummed while scrolling her phone. Ryan watched her, a quiet storm building behind his eyes. He didn't confront her. Not yet. He needed certainty. So he waited. Days passed. More signs emerged. She changed her hairstyle without telling him. Her scent changed. She bought new lingerie and hid it at the back of the drawer. Ryan found it while getting her a sweater. She had never worn it around him. Jake became a ghost. No calls. No messages. No visits. When Ryan finally called him, Jake answered with a shaky, "Hey man," followed by a long pause. Ryan asked casually, "Everything good?" Jake muttered something about work being busy. Then silence. Ryan's voice was calm. "You've been quiet." "Yeah. Just stuff." The call ended awkwardly. Ryan stared at the ceiling for hours afterward. 2 nights later, he checked Elena's phone again. He told himself it was wrong, but that didn't stop him. What he found shattered what little hope he had left. There were pictures. Blurry selfies. Elena and Jake. Hotel receipts. Jokes about sneaking around and Ryan being clueless. They'd been mocking him. Laughing behind his back. His hands shook, not from rage but betrayal. The people he loved most had turned him into a fool. Still, he didn't yell. He didn't break things. He planned. He invited Elena and Jake for dinner. Casual tone. No pressure. He said Maya would join too. She didn't know the full truth, but she knew enough to be on his side. They agreed. Elena wore her favorite red dress, pretending everything was perfect. Jake showed up 10 minutes late, visibly nervous. Maya sat across from them, quiet but watching closely. Dinner started light. Small talk. Then Ryan cleared his throat. "I went through your phone," he said, looking at Elena. Her fork froze midair. Jake coughed. What are you talking about?" Ryan turned to him deadpan. "You know what I'm talking about." Elena whispered. "Ryan, I can explain." He cut her off. "Explain the hotel receipts. The pictures. The texts." Jake stood up, face flushed. "It wasn't like that." Maya spoke up. "You both disgust me." Elena's voice cracked. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "But you did," Ryan said. Over and over. Silence filled the room. Jake left first, avoiding Ryan's eyes. Elena stayed behind for a moment, trying to say something, but Ryan turned away. She left without another word. Ryan stood alone in the apartment, the table still set, candles still flickering. The weight of the betrayal didn't come in a scream. It landed in silence. That night he deleted every photo, every message, every memory stored in his phone. He laid in bed staring at the ceiling, numb. Maya texted, "I'm here if you need anything." He replied, "Thanks. Just need time." He spent the weekend in silence, barely eating. At night, the apartment echoed with quiet memories. The sound of her laugh, the way Jake used to joke about everything. All poison now. Ryan didn't cry. He couldn't. The pain had hollowed him out. On Monday, he went to work like nothing had happened. No one knew his world had collapsed. But inside, everything had changed. He no longer believed in promises. He no longer believed in forever. The days dragged on, heavy and colorless. Each night, the same
Ryan
thoughts
moved like
circled
a
his
machine.
mind.
Wake, work,
Her
eat,
laugh,
sleep.
Jake's hand on her
Each
back,
action
the
stripped
messages.
of meaning.
His home,
The silence
once warm,
in his
felt
apartment
colder.
screamed louder
Elena's
than words
presence
ever
no
could.
longer brought
The
comfort.
places where Elena
Every
used to be
word she
felt like
spoke
hollow
now
outlines.
sounded rehearsed.
Reminders of
She
a life
claimed
he
she
never
was
really
meeting
had.
Maya one Friday
He avoided
night.
friends,
Ryan
ignored
waited,
texts,
pretending
declined
to scroll
invitations.
his phone while
Trust,
she left.
once natural,
An
now
hour
felt
later,
foreign.
Maya texted
Every
him a
smile
meme.
seemed suspicious.
He replied
Every friendly
friendly gesture made him question with Elena. The betrayal didn't just break his heart. Haven't seen her since last week. Why? But pain over time grows tired. One morning, stared at the message, Ryan woke up and realized he hadn't thought about Elena for a few hours. There was nothing left to say. That was progress. The next morning, Elena acted like everything was fine. Maya stayed in touch. She kissed his cheek, not pushing, offered him coffee, just present, and hummed while scrolling her phone. A coffee offer there. Ryan watched her. She never asked for details, storm building and Ryan never gave any. Still, he didn't. Her presence reminded him that not everyone disappears when things get hard. So he waited. He visited the beach Elena once loved. More signs emerged. No words, she changed her hairstyle without telling waves him. Crashing her and wind changed. In his face. She bought new lingerie and hid it at the back of the drawer and let the ocean drown the noise while getting her a sweater. For the first time she had never worn it around something like clarity. Jake became a started writing. No calls, not about her, but about how it felt to be broken, to lose yourself in someone who never really saw you. Jake answered with a shaky. He turned his pain into followed by a long pause. His silence into stories. Casually. What started as a journal became a blog. Jake muttered something about began being reading. Busy. Strangers commented. Ryan's some voice shared was their calm. Own betrayals. You've been quiet. Some simply said, yeah, thank you. Stuff. Ryan never answered ended, them, but he read every word. Ryan stared at the ceiling chipped away at the weight inside his chest. 2 nights later, he checked Elena's phone again. That mattered. He told himself it was wrong, but that started going to the gym. What he found shattered meals, what little hope he had instead left. Of driving. There were pictures. There was no dramatic transformation, no grand turning point. Hotel just receipts, quiet effort, jokes about daily. Sneaking around. One night, and Ryan being he walked clueless. Past a couple they'd laughing under a streetlight. Laughing he didn't behind feel bitterness, back, just a soft his ache. Hands shook, not for Elena, not from rage, not even betrayal. For Jake. The people he loved the version most of himself him that used to believe in permanence. Still he didn't yell. Forgiveness he didn't break come things. In a moment. He planned. Crept in slowly. He invited Elena first and Jake for dinner. For being blind, for holding on too long. No pressure. Then he said Maya would join too. Not she because they deserved it, but because he deserved she knew enough peace. To be on his side. Ryan stopped checking Elena's social media. Elena wore her favorite red dress, updates, pretending her story no longer belonged in his world. Jake showed up 10 minutes late, became a name visibly he no longer flinched at. Maya sat across from them. The past remained where it belonged, but watching closely. His blog gained traction. Small talk. A publisher reached out, then Ryan asking if he'd consider compiling his entries into a book. He said, he didn't say yes, but the idea lingered. Her fork froze midair. One afternoon, he sat in a park, watching are you leaves talking fall, about? Sipping coffee. Ryan turned to him, woman nearby smiled at him. You know what I'm talking about. He smiled back. Elena whispered, but it felt good to be seen without expectation. He cut her off. He didn't need to rush into anything. Receipts. The healing wasn't about replacing what was lost. Jake stood up, finding what was always there. It wasn't like that. Quiet strength, the ability to rebuild. You both discussed Ryan me. Recorded a voiceover that voice night. Cracked. Just words, I didn't mean no to hurt you. He uploaded it to his blog. Ryan said, if someone betrays you, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their avoiding character. Ryan's eyes. Don't let their lies redefine behind for a moment, trying to say something, honesty, but Ryan love and respect. She left someone without another word. Let them go. Ryan stood alone in the people apartment. Won't make you question the table your still worth. Set. Candles he didn't still care flickering. How many listened. The weight of the betrayal didn't come them. In a scream. It was for him. It landed in silence. That night he deleted every photo, and though every the pain message didn't vanish, every memory no stored in his phone. Ryan learned that love isn't just about giving. The ceiling. It's about being received. Maya texted, "Truly, I'm here if you need anything." He replied, found that yet. Just need time. But he wasn't afraid to look in silence. This time barely he'd walk in with open eyes. The apartment and if someone failed him, he'd walk away. The sound of her laugh, he didn't the way Jake used to joke about everything. Knew what he deserved. Oh, poison now. The past was Ryan behind him. Cry. The story had ended. The pain had hollowed him out. But his life was just beginning. On Monday, he went to work like nothing had happened. No one knew his world had collapsed. But inside, everything had changed. He no longer believed in promises. He no longer believed in forever.